à tous et bienvenue à votre nouveau cours de français. Aujourd'hui, on va apprendre les verbes. Today, we are going to learn about the verbs in French. So, let's get started. First of all, tell me what is a verb? A verb is a word that shows action. For example, jumping girl. The baby sleeps. A man eats a burger. In these examples, jump, sleep and eat. These are the verbs because these are the actions. Alright, now let's move to the verbs in French. In French, the verbs are categorized into three groups, which are er ending verbs, ir ending verbs and re ending verbs. And today we are going to learn about ir ending verbs. Now, what are ir ending verbs? The verbs which end with ir are called ir ending verbs. Now let's see how to conjugate an ir ending verb. There are only two simple steps that you need to follow to conjugate an ir ending verb. So the first step is to remove ir from the infinitive verb. Now what is an infinitive verb? An infinitive verb means your original verb, or you can say unconjugated verb. Alright? And the second step is to add these endings in the radical. Now what does the radical mean? Radical means the word which will left after cutting off ir. Okay, now what are the endings? The endings are is, it, it, issons, issez, issent and issent. Okay, now let us understand it with the help of an example. So here I have taken the verb finir, which means to finish, and I have also written the endings which you need to add in the radical. So let's revise the endings first. With je and you have to add is. With elle and elle you will add it. Then issons with nous, issez with vous. And with elle plural we will be adding issent. Now moving on to its conjugation, the first step is to remove ir. So after chopping off ir we will be left with fin. So fin will be our radical. And let's move to the second step, which is to add these endings in the radical. So that's how we conjugate the verb. I hope it is clear to you. Now let's move on to its pronunciation. Je finis, tu finis, il finit, elle finit, nous finissons, vous finissez, ils finissent, elles finissent. Now pay attention here. In elle plural we will not pronounce ent from the end, okay, because the verbs which end with ent will always be pronounced till e only. So its pronunciation will be finis, not finisson. Now let's do this small exercise of ir ending verbs, but before this you need to understand certain important things. So these are some important points that you have to keep in your mind. While conjugating, if your subject is a name of a boy, then use il. For example, Your subject is Paul. Now Paul is a boy, so we will conjugate the verb with elle. Similarly, if it is a girl, then use elle. If there are two boys, then we will conjugate the verb in the context of they, that means with elle plural. Similarly, if there are two girls, then use elle plural. Now pay attention here in the last one. If there is a one boy and one girl, then we will conjugate the verb with elle plural. Okay? Let's do the exercise now. The first question is je dash la robe, and the verb which is given in the bracket is choisir. That means to choose. So with je, what do? We cut ir from the choisir, our infinitive word, and we put is. So it will become choisis. Je choisis la robe. I choose the dress. The second question is nous dash notre devoir, and the verb which is given in the bracket is finir, which means to finish, that we just did. Okay, so again here we will put ISSONS. It will become finissant. Now the third question is Pauline dash a verre de l'eau. That means Pauline fills a glass of water. Now remplir is a verb which means to fill. Okay, and Pauline is a girl, that is why we have conjugated the verb with elle. Now let's proceed to a last question, which is Alan A. Annie. Now see the subject. There is a name of a girl and a boy. So it was there in your important rules that if the subject will be of one boy and one girl, then we will conjugate the verb with elle plural. So the answer will be finissent. Okay? Alan et Annie finissent leur devoir à 8 heures. Alan and Annie finished their homework at 8 o'clock. C'est tout pour aujourd'hui. That's all for today. Au revoir et merci beaucoup.